Close your eyes for a second and imagine your current monthly budget. Think about what that money buys you right now. For most of us in the US, the UK, or Canada, that budget gets you a decent apartment, a car payment, some groceries, and maybe, if you're lucky, a nice dinner out once a week. You're surviving, sure, but are you thriving? Now, what if I told you that same exact amount of money, the cost of a studio apartment in Brooklyn or a flat in London, could buy you a literal palace? We're talking about a multi-bedroom villa with a private pool, a full-time housekeeper who cooks your meals, a personal driver, and enough left over to dine at 5-star restaurants every single night. This isn't a fantasy, and it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a concept called geographic arbitrage. It's the simple act of earning in a strong currency and spending in a place where your money has 10 times the power. But the world is changing fast. Inflation has hit the globe, and the cheap spots of 5 years ago aren't so cheap anymore. That's why we've spent months analyzing the latest data, cost of living indices from Numbeo, and 2026 economic forecasts to bring you the definitive list. Welcome to Fact Voyage. Today, we are exploring the top 10 cheapest countries to live like a king in 2026. These are the places where you can stop counting pennies and start living the life you've only ever seen on Instagram. Let's get into it. Starting our list at number 10 is a country that has been a favorite for decades, but in 2026, it's evolving. We're headed to Mexico. Now wait, I know what you're thinking. Isn't the peso getting stronger? Yes, the super peso has made Mexico a bit more expensive than it used to be, but for those looking for the top 10 cheapest countries to live like a king in 2026, Mexico remains a powerhouse because of its scale. The luxury vibe. In Mexico, you aren't just getting by. If you move to cities like Oaxaca, Mérida, or even parts of Mexico City like Polanco, you are entering a world of world-class gastronomy and ultra-modern amenities. In 2026, Mexico is no longer just a budget destination, it's a luxury for less destination. The cost breakdown. Let's talk numbers. In a city like Mérida, consistently ranked as one of the safest cities in the Americas, a luxury 3-bedroom colonial home with a private courtyard and pool will cost you around $1,200 to $1,500 USD a month. In Los Angeles, that house would be $8,000. But the king lifestyle really comes in the services. A full-time maid who cleans and does laundry costs about $15 to $20 per day. A private chef to prep your organic meals? You can find world-class talent for a fraction of what you'd pay for a basic meal kit service in the States. Why it works in 2026? The infrastructure in Mexico is exploding. High-speed fiber internet is now the standard in major hubs, making it a dream for digital nomads. Plus, the Maya Train project has fully opened up the Yucatan Peninsula, meaning you can live in a quiet, affordable jungle villa and be in a 5-star Caribbean beach club in under 2 hours. The king factor. It's the food. You can eat at a Michelin-rated restaurant in Mexico City for $60 USD, a meal that would cost $400 in New York. You get the culture, the proximity to the US, and a lifestyle that feels endlessly premium. When people think of living like a king in Europe, they usually think of the French Riviera or the Italian coast. But if you want that lifestyle without the 6-figure price tag, you have to look east. At number 9, we have Bulgaria. Bulgaria is the cheapest country in the European Union, and in 2026, it's becoming the ultimate life hack for those who want EU stability on a shoestring budget. The luxury vibe. Bulgaria offers a unique dual lifestyle. In the winter, you can live in Bansko, one of Europe's premier ski hubs, in a luxury chalet with a sauna and mountain views. In the summer, you head to Varna or Burgas on the Black Sea, where the beach clubs rival those in Ibiza, but the drinks cost $3 instead of $30. The cost breakdown. A high-end, modern one-bedroom apartment in the heart of the capital, Sofia, will set you back about $600 to $800 USD. If you go to a smaller city or the mountains, that price drops significantly. But here is where the king part kicks in: the tax. Bulgaria has a flat income tax rate of just 10%. If you're a high earner or a business owner, you are keeping almost everything you make. That extra 20–30% you aren't giving to the government is what pays for your weekly spa treatments and weekend trips to Greece. The food and entertainment. Bulgarian produce is legendary in Europe. You can go to a local market and buy a week's worth of organic, sun-drenched tomatoes, cheeses, and meats for $40. A 3-course dinner for 2 in a high-end steakhouse in Sofia, about $50 USD total, including wine. Why it works in 2026? Bulgaria is a tech hub. The internet speeds are among the fastest in the world, often beating the US and Germany. It's safe, it's in the EU, and it's one of the few places in Europe where a regular salary allows you to live in the most prestigious neighborhoods in the country.
Number 8 on our list of the top 10 cheapest countries to live like a king in 2026 is a place of breathtaking beauty and, frankly, an incredible currency advantage. Welcome to South Africa. Now, South Africa has its challenges, which we'll talk about, but from a purely financial life of luxury perspective, there is almost nowhere else on earth that offers this much wow for your dollar. The luxury vibe. Imagine living in Cape Town. You're in a glass-walled villa overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. You have a private pool, a wine cellar stocked with world-class Chenin Blanc, and you're minutes away from some of the best hiking and surfing on the planet. This is billionaire territory in any other country. In South Africa, it's upper-middle-class territory. The cost breakdown. Because of the historic weakness of the South African rand against the dollar and euro, your purchasing power here is astronomical. A luxury penthouse in a secure, high-end area like Sea Point or Camps Bay can be rented for $1,500 to $2,000 USD. But the services are where it gets truly royal. You can hire a full-time housekeeper for around $300 a month, a personal gardener, $150. You can effectively outsource every single chore in your life for less than the cost of a car insurance payment in London. The wine and dine. South Africa is world famous for its wine lands. A tasting tour at a world-class vineyard in Stellenbosch featuring a multi-course lunch and elite wines might cost you $40 per person. In Napa Valley, you'd be looking at $400. The catch is safety is a concern in South Africa, which is why most people living this king lifestyle live in gated communities or buildings with 24/7 security. You also have to deal with load shedding, power outages, but in 2026, most luxury rentals come equipped with solar power and Tesla Powerwalls, making the grid issues irrelevant to your daily life. Next up at number 7, we're heading to the heart of South America, a country that has completely rebranded itself from its troubled past into a global hotspot for the new rich. We're talking about Colombia. Specifically, we're looking at Medellin, the city of eternal spring. The luxury vibe. In Medellin, the lifestyle is all about the vibe. You live in a high-rise apartment in El Poblado with a balcony that looks out over a sea of green mountains and city lights. The weather is a perfect 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 degrees Celsius every single day. There is no need for heating or air conditioning. The cost breakdown. As of early 2026, a high-end designer apartment in the best part of town will cost you between $900 and $1,300 USD. Dining out in Colombia is a sport. You can go to El Cielo, a world-renowned molecular gastronomy restaurant, and have a 15-course experience for under $100 USD. A daily menu del dia, a 3-course lunch with juice at a nice local spot, is about $5. The king services. In Colombia, manual labor is very affordable. Want a custom-tailored suit? You can get a bespoke piece made by a master tailor for $200. Want someone to come to your house and give you a professional massage? That's about $25 an hour. Why it works in 2026? Colombia has introduced a digital nomad visa that is incredibly easy to get, allowing you to stay for up to 2 years. The healthcare system is also surprisingly good. Cities like Medellin and Bogota have some of the top-ranked hospitals in Latin America, where out-of-pocket costs for specialist visits are often less than $40. The king factor. It's the social life. In Colombia, you aren't just living cheaply, you're living vibrantly. The nightlife, the dancing, and the warmth of the people make you feel like a guest of honor in their country every single day.
We're moving over to Southeast Asia for number 6. If your idea of living like a king involves futuristic skylines, high-end shopping, and zero language barriers, then Malaysia is your destination. Malaysia is often overlooked in favor of Thailand, but in 2026, it is actually the superior choice for those who want Western standard luxury at Eastern standard prices. The luxury vibe. In Kuala Lumpur, KL, you can live in a branded residence, think Ritz-Carlton or Four Seasons apartments. We're talking about marble floors, concierge service, and infinity pools that make you feel like you're swimming in the clouds. The cost breakdown. You can rent a massive, modern 3-bedroom condo in the heart of the city for $800 to $1,200 USD. In Singapore, which is just a 45-minute flight away, that same apartment would be $10,000. Malaysia is also a foodie paradise. Because of its Malay, Chinese, and Indian heritage, the street food is world-class and costs about $2 a meal. But if you want to eat at a high-end French bistro, you're looking at $30 for a full dinner. The infrastructure. This is where Malaysia wins. The roads are perfect. The malls are the best in the world, literally. Everyone speaks English. The private hospitals are so good that Malaysia is a global leader in medical tourism. A full executive health screening that would cost $3,000 in the US costs about $350 here. The king factor. It's the MM2H, Malaysia My Second Home, and the DE Rantau Digital Nomad Visa. Malaysia wants you there. They've made it easy for high-value expats to settle down. You can live in a penthouse, drive on world-class highways, and enjoy a standard of living that is virtually indistinguishable from the highest levels of luxury in the West, all while spending less than $2,500 for a family of 4.
Coming in at number 5 on our list of the top 10 cheapest countries to live like a king in 2026 is a country that has become a cult favorite for entrepreneurs and remote workers. We're going to the intersection of Europe and Asia, Georgia. Georgia is famous for 3 things: its 8,000-year history of winemaking, its stunning mountains, and its incredible ease of doing business. The luxury vibe. In the capital, Tbilisi, the vibe is bohemian luxury. You can live in a beautifully restored 19th century apartment with high ceilings, original hardwood floors, and a balcony overlooking the Mtikvari River. It feels like living in a classic European capital like Prague or Paris, but at a quarter of the price. The cost breakdown. A truly king-level apartment in the prestigious Vaque or Vera districts will cost you about $1,000 USD a month, but the real savings are in the day-to-day. Georgia is one of the cheapest places in the world for utilities and transport. A taxi across the entire city costs about $3. High-speed fiber internet, $15 a month. The food and drink. In Georgia, you don't just buy wine, it's a way of life. You can get a bottle of world-class, award-winning Saperavi wine for $8. A feast for 4 people at a high-end Georgian restaurant, heaping plates of king kali, khachapuri, and grilled meats will usually cost under $60 total. Why it works in 2026? Georgia has the most generous visa policy on Earth. For citizens of over 95 countries, you can simply show up and stay for a full year with no visa required. You can even work.
At the end of the year, you just cross the border for lunch, come back, and your year starts over. Plus, if you register as a small business, your tax rate is just 1% on your first $180,000 of income. The king factor. It's the freedom. In Georgia, the government stays out of your way. You live in a safe, beautiful, culturally rich country where your dollar goes incredibly far and you are treated with legendary hospitality.
You knew this one was coming, but in 2026, it's not just about Bali anymore. At number 4, we have Indonesia. While Bali remains the epicenter of the laptop lifestyle, other islands like Lombok and Sumba are opening up, offering king-level luxury for even less than the main tourist hubs. The luxury vibe. This is the home of the villa life. In Indonesia, you don't live in an apartment, you live in a compound. We're talking about an open-air living room, a private pool surrounded by tropical gardens, and an ensuite bathroom where the tub is carved out of a single piece of river stone. The cost breakdown. In 2026, a stunning 3-bedroom villa in a place like Uluwatu or Canggu will run you about $1,500 to $2,500 USD a month for a long-term lease. But the king lifestyle is defined by the staff. It is very common in Indonesia to have a villa manager and a housekeeper. The cost for a live-in maid is around $250 to $300 a month. Think about that. For the price of a few dinners in London, you never have to wash a dish or fold a towel ever again. The food and wellness. Bali is the world capital of affordable wellness. A 90-minute traditional Balinese massage in a luxury spa? $15. A private yoga instructor to come to your villa every morning? $20 a session. You can eat organic, farm-to-table meals for $7 to $10 at the trendiest cafes in the world. Why it works in 2026. Indonesia has finally streamlined its digital nomad visa, the B211A, and the remote worker visa, making it much easier to stay legally for long periods. The internet infrastructure in Bali has also seen massive upgrades, with Starlink now providing blazing fast speeds even in the more remote jungle areas. The king factor? It's the sheer aesthetic. Everything in Indonesia, from the cafes to the villas, is designed to be beautiful. You are living in a literal work of art.
We've reached the top 3. And it's impossible to have a list of the top 10 cheapest countries to live like a king in 2026 without the land of smiles, Thailand. Thailand has perfected the art of hospitality. Whether you're a billionaire or a budget traveler, they treat you like royalty. But if you have a Western budget, the level of luxury you can access is honestly mind-blowing. The luxury vibe. In Bangkok, you can live in a high-rise kingdom. Many condos come with sky gardens, Olympic-sized pools, state-of-the-art gyms, and even private cinemas for residents. In Chiang Mai, you can live in a sprawling teakwood house surrounded by mountains and ancient temples. The cost breakdown. A luxury 1-bedroom condo in a top-tier Bangkok neighborhood like Sukhumvit or Tong Lo will cost you about $800 to $1,200 USD per month. Dining out? You can eat world-class Michelin Guide street food for $2, or you can go to a rooftop bar overlooking the city and have a cocktail for $10. The king factor here is the service. You can get anything delivered to your door in 20 minutes for a $1 delivery fee. Groceries, laundry, even a Starbucks coffee. The healthcare? Thailand's private healthcare is legendary. Bumrungrad International Hospital in Bangkok looks more like a 5-star hotel than a hospital. You can walk in, see a US-trained specialist without an appointment, get an MRI, and be out in 2 hours for a fraction of what your deductible would be in the US. Why it works in 2026? The big news for 2026 is the Destination Thailand Visa, DTV. It allows remote workers and digital nomads to stay for 5 years with a one-time fee. It has completely changed the game, making Thailand the most accessible long-term luxury hub in Asia. The king factor? It's the balance. You have the best food in the world, the best service, incredible safety, and a culture that is genuinely welcoming to foreigners. In Thailand, you don't just feel rich, you feel cared for.
Coming in at number 2 is the dark horse of 2026. After a few years of economic turbulence, this island nation is back, and it is offering the most extravagant value for money on the planet right now: Sri Lanka. If you want a king lifestyle that involves a beachfront estate and a staff of 4, this is where you go. The luxury vibe. In Sri Lanka, the king lifestyle is all about space and service. We aren't talking about nice apartments, we're talking about colonial villas. Imagine a 4-bedroom house with high white columns, a wraparound veranda, and an infinity pool that leads directly onto a private beach. The cost breakdown. According to the latest 2026 Expat data, you can rent a beachfront villa in a place like Gal or Hirakatia for around $1,000 to $1,500 USD a month. But check this out. For an additional $400 a month, you can hire a full-time live-in staff that includes a housekeeper, a gardener, and a chef who knows how to cook incredible fresh seafood and traditional curries. Your total king budget? Under $2,000 USD a month for a life that would cost $20,000 in Malibu. The cost of living. Local markets are incredibly cheap. A kilo of fresh bananas is 50 cents. A fresh lobster caught that morning, $10. You can take a scenic train ride through the tea country for $2 in a first-class carriage. The king factor. Sri Lanka has one of the easiest and cheapest digital nomad and retirement visas in Asia. They are actively courting foreigners to help grow their economy. You are not just a resident, you are an investor in the future. The combination of the scenery, the incredibly low cost of high-end labor, and the stunning villas makes Sri Lanka the number 2 best place to live like royalty. We have reached number 1, the undisputed champion of the top 10 cheapest countries to live like a king in 2026, Vietnam. Vietnam is in a unique Goldilocks zone right now. The economy is booming, the infrastructure is modernizing at lightning speed, but the cost of living remains stubbornly, beautifully low. The luxury vibe. In Vietnam, living like a king means living in the future. In Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, you can live in the landmark 81 area, one of the tallest and most modern residential complexes in the world. We're talking about smart homes, 24/7 security, high-end gyms, and views that rival Tokyo or Hong Kong. The cost breakdown. A world-class 3-bedroom penthouse-style apartment in a city like Da Nang, which has the best city-beach balance in Asia, will cost you about $800 to $1,100 USD. But the day-to-day costs are where Vietnam truly destroys the competition. Food. You can eat the best pho of your life on the street for $1.50, or you can eat at a high-end French-Vietnamese fusion restaurant for $20. Transport. A Grab or Uber ride across town is $2. Coffee. Vietnam is a coffee superpower. A high-end artisan latte in a beautiful cafe, $1.80. The king factor. It's the service economy. Vietnam has a massive, young, and incredibly hard-working population. Anything you need can be done for you. Want your apartment deep cleaned while you're at the gym? $10. Want your groceries delivered and put away in your fridge? $2. Want a custom-made high-end silk dress or suit? $150. Why it works in 2026? Vietnam is projected to have some of the highest GDP growth in Asia through 2026. This means the quality of life is improving every single month. New metros are opening, new hospitals are being built, and the expat community is thriving.
While it doesn't have a formal digital nomad visa yet, the 90-day e-visas are easy to renew, and the government is currently debating a new long-term residency plan for remote workers. The verdict? Vietnam wins because it offers the highest quality of life to cost ratio on the planet. You can live in a futuristic city, eat like a gourmet, and have every single one of your needs met, all while spending less than $1,500 a month for a total king lifestyle. The world in 2026 is full of opportunities, but only for those who are willing to look beyond their own borders. Whether it's the bunkers and safety of Switzerland from our last video, or the palaces of Vietnam and Sri Lanka from today's, the message is clear. You don't have to be a millionaire to live like one. You just have to be brave enough to pack a bag. Which of these 10 countries would be your first choice? Are you a city king in Kuala Lumpur or a beach king in Bali? Let us know in the comments below. We read every single one. Don't forget to like this video if it gave you some travel fuel, and subscribe to Fact Voyage for more deep dives into the facts that shape our world. Until next time, keep exploring.